Here is a puzzle. To learn how good a situation really is, must you wait until the whole game is over to find out? For a long time, that was the assumption. But there is a smarter move. After a single step, you already know something new, the reward you just received, plus a fresh peek at what comes next, and you can update your beliefs immediately mid-game without ever seeing the ending. That idea, learning from your own updated guesses one step at a time, is temporal difference learning, and many people call it the central idea of reinforcement learning. Let us break it down. At its heart, TD learning is one small update repeated forever. We take a step, get a little smarter, and nudge our estimate. Follow the pieces one at a time. Start with a single step. The agent sits in some state, takes an action, and receives an immediate reward while landing in a new state. That reward, plus where it landed, is all the fresh information one step gives us, and it turns out to be enough to start learning right away. Now form a better estimate. The value of where we started should be roughly the reward we just got plus the discounted value we already estimate for the state we landed in. This combination is the new target, a sharper guess about the starting state than the one we held a moment ago. Next, compare the two. The gap between this new, better target and our old estimate is the TD error. If it is positive, the state was better than we thought. If negative, worse. That single error signal is the heartbeat of the whole method, telling us which way to move. Finally, nudge. We shift the old estimate a fraction of the way toward the new target, controlled by the learning rate. Notice we just learned from a guess built partly on another guess, and that self-referential trick, bootstrapping, is exactly what lets learning happen online, step by step, mid-episode. So what makes this such a leap? Compare it against the older way of learning side by side. Monte Carlo methods learn only from complete outcomes. To update the value of a state, they wait for the entire episode to finish, then use the actual total reward that followed. It is unbiased and honest, but you cannot learn a single thing until the very end, and for long or never-ending tasks that becomes painfully slow. TD learning flatly refuses to wait. After every single step, it forms a new target from the reward plus its own estimate of the next state, and updates immediately. It can learn from incomplete episodes, improve after each action, and that makes it faster and far more sample efficient. This is the engine humming inside Q-Learning and Sursa. Strip it back and 3 ideas make TD learning tick. Every step produces an update. The agent adjusts a state's value using the reward it just received plus its current estimate of the next state. So learning is continuous rather than saved up and paid out only at the end. It bootstraps from its own predictions. Rather than waiting for ground truth, TD learning updates one guess using another guess, which sounds circular but provably converges, and it is precisely what makes online, incremental learning possible. Because it never waits for an ending, it learns online from incomplete episodes. That gives it lower variance than Monte Carlo at the cost of a little bias, and remarkably, the same error signal even mirrors dopamine reward signals in the brain. Alright, let us lock in what matters. This method updates value estimates from each step, using the reward plus its own guess of the next state's value. No waiting for the end. The difference between that new estimate and the old one is the TD error, and the agent nudges its old value toward the new by the learning rate. Because it bootstraps from its own predictions, it learns online from incomplete episodes, blending the strengths of Monte Carlo and dynamic programming. These ideas power Q-Learning, Sursa, and TD Lambda, trading a little bias for much lower variance than Monte Carlo. If this step-by-step way of teaching reinforcement learning clicks for you, there is plenty more waiting for you at standarity.com. See you there.